planting fruit trees can be really complicated, so today I brought my grandpa, who is an expert in growing fruit trees, with us, so he can show us the step-by-step process of planting fruit trees. So this is my grandpa, Bill Mays. And how long have you been in farming?
About 60 years.
All right, so he has a few years of experience. All right, so we're gonna go through all the steps of planting fruit trees so that you can see step-by-step how to have success. We set up our line so that the fruit trees are, first of all, on a straight line, however you want to plant in your yard. But first thing, we're gonna dig a hole, and most of our trees are bare root. So they're just these little trees right here. So for a bare root tree like this, how deep do we need to plant them?
Okay, we'll need to get them in the ground. And so we'll want it, here's your bud cut.
Where the graft is,
Not
right?
where the graft was out. This is actually a bud is what it was. 'Cause you can see where it's budded in here.
Okay.
Not a graft. A graft would be a vertical. Anyhow, you want it at least in the ground a couple inches or so, 3 inches below this here. And when you put it in the ground, you want to make sure that that bud is always facing south.
Okay, so here I'll show up closer. So this is the bud that he's talking about, and you always want
above the bud.
Okay, and that's always south. So, and then you want it a few inches below that point.
One of the reasons you do that is so the sun keeps this dry, so it doesn't rot.
Okay.
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 Now you want to make sure the roots down there, when you lay them on the ground, make sure those roots are laid out flat. See how this in here is curved back up?
Uh-huh. So,
okay, I'm going to just dig
you want to dig
right
a little
here
deeper? Okay.
and be able to lay that out. And that way they will grow.
Outwards, okay.
Yep, and so you want to separate them a little bit.
Okay.
So, I'm going to hold it up just a tiny bit. Because you can see the level of our ground.
Uh-huh.
That's going to be pretty close.
Okay.
And you want to make sure and try to fill all your dirt in around all the roots. Good to where there's no air pockets down around there.
Okay.
And we're going to take and water these in with a hose here shortly. And you don't want to poke too hard because you don't want to break the roots or anything. But you're trying to get that soil down in good around the roots, as I mentioned, just to get all the air. And you want to have your little ring around it for the water to stand in.
Okay. And the bare root trees at this stage, how old is this tree?
This is at least between 2 and 3 years old.
Oh,
Good 2 years old.
Oh, wow, okay.
And the base down there, the rootstock was probably 2 years old.
Oh, okay.
When they budded it.
Okay, so then this one is probably then like 3 or 4 years.
This one
You think,
here,
or is this just a little bit older than?
not much.
Not much. Okay.
Almost same age.
Okay.
Ready? And if this is a home garden, you can actually plant these a little bit closer, as you can keep them shaped up and trimmed up how you'd like them and stuff. If you're commercially setting them out, you'd want them a little farther apart.
Okay, so right now we're doing 11 feet between each tree. But commercial would probably be closer to 15 or 20, right? 15 or 20 for commercial?
Yeah, 16 to 18.
Okay, 16 to 18 is ideal for commercial, but here in the garden we're just going to do 11 feet between each tree.
So, okay, now if you can just pull those roots out and kind of lay them out. So again, right here was our mark for our spacing. It's our 11 feet, so bring it back this way just a little bit.
Dig that
and just
out
bring these around this way a little bit.
Do we want to dig this hole out a little more?
Yeah. Okay, if you can just lay those little roots out right here.
Yep.
Okay, now our ground level, I'm going to pick it up just a little bit. See right here?
Uh-huh.
See where the end of my shovel is?
Okay.
Okay. So you'll hold that right there. And that's pretty straight up and down. And we'll gently put the soil down around it and try to fill in all the cavities where there's no air pockets.
Once we water, do we want to pack down the soil more?
Yeah, when we're watering it in and stuff, then we'll use the little rod I have over by the tree there
Okay.
to push it down. Okay. Tell me where's the bag? Right there.
Right there.
That's it. Okay.
Alright, so this is, if you have one in a pot, follow Papa Bill. Put it on its side and kick it out.
That just loosens up the roots. Okay, you got it?
Yep. And you want to keep...
Now this one here has been in the pot too long. So you have all these roots here, they're growing out this way here. I'll take them and just score them. What that'll do is that'll help make the main tap roots and stuff start going down.
Okay, so you just want to break them up a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Alrighty.
And right now we're planting apple trees, and at the far end we had pears, and you don't want to put your pears next to your apples, because why?
There's lots of viruses that love apples and pears and cherry trees, and so they're susceptible to that being transferred back and forth to trees. And then another one is fire blight. So you want to keep these here a little farther apart and stuff right there. You may get some contamination between these two trees and those two down there, but you're better off to have them apart. And if you're done some cherry trees, then I'd plant some cherry trees over here away from them.
Okay. Yeah. So pears, apples, and cherries, try to keep them separate.
What we want to do is we don't want to throw that red dirt back in there.
Oh.
Okay. So we're going to get some of this topsoil dirt, this good dark topsoil dirt here.
We had real heavy clay soil in this hole, so we're putting better soil back in.
No,
Right? Hard pan, not heavy clay.
Not clay.
Hard pan.
Same thing, we're going to water that dirt down in there as we'll do on all of the trees here. We'll get that water in there, and that helps shrink the dirt down, takes out those air pockets. And that way there's no air around the little feeder roots and stuff right there, which will help us start growing quickly.
Okay.
See that root coming out right here?
Uh-huh.
It's growing right up off of it. No, we don't want that. You take that off of there. Now, these trees here, because these are probably about a 3-year-old tree here, you're not going to be able to go back in and cut these down real low. These two apple trees right here, but they've grown so big already. You've already got primary branches that are already growing up here. So what we'll do is probably just come back and trim this off up in here somewhere.
Why can't we come down here? You don't want to do it?
See these buds? All these buds here? Here's a bud here that's a good live bud, but none of these here will be able to, if you cut that off, there will be nothing that'll grow out of those.
Oh.
Okay? See up here? See these buds? This is what we needed down below, are these here live buds here. And because of the age of the tree, those have already matured and grown out. And that's what these here little branches are right here.
Okay.
Alrighty? So I think what we'll do on this one here, we'll trim this one. You have your little lopping shears there. You have your loppers. Okay, let's cut this one off down here.
You don't want a low branch like that?
Yeah, you don't want a low one down next to the ground like that. Okay? And then let's come back here and we'll cut this one off right out here. Now here's the bud. This branch is going to grow up like this, so we'll cut it down here about 1 inch below that. Alrighty, and that'll grow out this way here. These here are already growing in good symmetry here. So you've got a branch going each of the directions out of the tree right now, which is good. You can cut this little one off right up here. Alrighty. And then here's your next set. So here's your lower branches. Here's another upper set of branches you've got going here. Okay, we got our variety tag here on the tree here. So you want to leave that. You've got these markers here.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So since you've got these two good branches here, you've got a good bud here and a good bud over here, or even up here. So let's go back here and we'll cut it off right up about here.
At a little angle?
And cut it on just a slight angle.
Is that good enough?
That's good. There we go. And this here just is trash.
Okay.
Alrighty. So we'll be watching this little tree here and keep real close watch on it this year as to whether we need to do some additional shaping on this. But mostly you want to just let this grow as is right now. I would take and do this one here. See, here's a primary bud limb that's coming out here. Let's take and cut this one up here. You want to come up about 1 inch. So cut it on a little angle. Okay, so what it's going to do, it's going to force this here. Otherwise this limb here will just keep growing and growing. You want to force this out here to where this will give you a limb like these here.
Okay.
Okay, so we've done that. We're coming down. This here is a Snow Queen Nectarine. Boy, these people. Alrighty, so let's take and cut this right here. Let's take this little limb off this side over here. Alright, so we've got that going. This one here, I don't think it's going to live. End of it already looks like it's dying. Same with these here. And that's a problem. Let's just cut this right out here.
Oh, not at the base.
Right out here. Let's hope maybe a little bud will come out of that. Same right here. See how that's green?
Oh yeah.
That means it's still alive. So we're going to hopefully force and push that there to where it's going to grow. Now this one here, we want these limbs to grow. We want these to grow. Here's a bud here. We're going to hope, see this bud right here? We're going to hope that little bud will come out. So now this one here, we're going to take and cut it off here because we don't want this big growth in this here.
Okay. So we're going to cut above this branch?
Yes, and we're going to cut this little thing here off.
Oh, cut this off first?
Yep. And then cut that right underneath that great big one on there.
Does it matter which way the angle goes?
No. We're fine. Okay. We were hoping we could have them down here, but we're not going to be able to do that because there's no buds down there.
Okay. So you can't always, you gotta
know you have to have buds that'll grow limbs.
Okay.
You know.
And none of these,
And see
they're
these
not,
here? There's nothing there.
they're not gonna grow. Okay.
No, there's nothing there. They've all been taken off at the nursery. All right. So we may be able to get those there to grow there. Alrighty, we'll try that. And it's good to have your little folder that tells the name of each tree, because these won't stay on here forever. They'll rot in the sunshine. So, you know, they have little metal tags that you can actually put on a tree and inscribe on there what the variety is.
Okay.
And then, you know, you want to write down when you planted it, and even the nursery that you bought them from. It's good to keep that information in case you need to take it back for a replant.
Okay.
If they don't grow. Now we've got these here and these. Hopefully we can get something else to come out of here. And this one here, same thing. Let's go back in here. See, we've got. Yeah. Let's see. Might get a bud out of here. See that little triple head right here? Looks like we might get one. All right, let's go ahead and cut this one right here. There we go. Yeah, let's go back here and cut this off right here.
Right there?
Yep. Okay. Now, we're going to get a bud out of these here. See those two buds there? So we're going to get something to come out of that. So we're really going to press this here to make it grow. So this in here, we're going to cut it off right back here.
Okay.
Just anywhere right up in here. Higher.
Higher? This bud right here, we want to keep that or no?
It's all right.
Just go right above it? Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, all this tree is going to grow out of that. See all these buds here? You'd have all those limbs coming out there.
And the reason we want to trim them back like this is because then it forces the trees to be lower, right?
That's correct.
Because you don't want them to go too high.
Yeah, you're wanting the primary scaffolds. So these are the major limbs, and generally you want 3 to 4 to 5 major scaffold limbs. Those are called the primary scaffolds, coming out down low, and then your trees form from that.
Yeah.
And then once you get those limbs up here, and they get larger, such as that, if this was the primary scaffold, then this would be a secondary limb that comes off of that, and then these are fruiting limbs that come off of that.
Okay.
So like these will be fruit spurs. So this one here, let's take this one here, let's cut this right here.
Like midway?
Yep. Alrighty, let's cut this one here, down lower. Oh, grab that bud, there you go. Alrighty, and let's take this one off right here. Okay, so that kind of gives us a start. And what we'll do, we may have to trim these off next winter when it's dormant again. We may have to trim these back a little bit so it helps these little buds here, because this will come out and want to go that way and want to go this way. And we want those to all grow at about the same rate and stuff.
So we're not going to prune these again until next winter?
Nothing gets pruned until next winter now. Yeah.
Okay. So we let them...
You only want to prune when they're dormant.
Okay.
Okay. You do some top pruning or whatever else late summer after all the fruit's gone off of them. You can do that.
Okay.
But you're safer to wait, because when you open these up like that, you can open this up to diseases. Now when we're done trimming these right now, we're going to take and put some tree heel on it and seal on these here. Trim this one off here. Okay. I'm going to take this one off also. Yeah. And you cut them as close as you can. Okay. And you're leaving the stubs out. Same with
And why do we want to take those two off? Because they're just
so
too far away?
Yeah,
okay,
so
they're too low.
And stuff like here.
Okay.
So what we're trying to do is look in here. We're hoping that this one here will be a primary, this one will be a primary, this one, and these two.
Okay.
If this one really takes off and does good, we'll come back to it. But right now,
we're going to leave it for now.
Yep. And see here, we got this big thing here, grew at the nursery. That's going to keep dominating the tree if we leave it. So we're going to cut it off just below it.
Okay. So this whole part, everything's coming off? Okay.
Okay. So that'll be the start of the Suncrest peach tree. So this one right here. See, you've got 4 good limbs right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this little limb off here.
This one?
This double. It'll be fine there. Same thing, we're going to take the label.
So like, are we gonna try to let these grow?
We're gonna see what they will do.
Yeah,
If
because
they
we're
end up
hoping maybe
something
they
come
will
out of it, something comes out, and that way we can get the base of the tree
down lower.
down here. That'd be the actual trunk coming up, and then that would be the head right there.
Okay.
Alrighty. Right now, we're going to try to do this here. So let's take this, and we really need a limb going this way right here. So what we're going to do, let's trim this one off, this one off. Okay, this one off. Okay, this one here, and then trim that right there.
Right here?
Okay, let's see, we have 5 standards on that one there.
Okay.
Alrighty. Oh, this here is what you were looking to do originally. So you've got a good limb here, 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 and here. Okay. Put this in here for your tags. Get that in good. One of the things, these little tags here, they generally have some information on the back of them. It tells how much sun they need, maybe how they do in different climates and stuff right here. So there's generally some good information on the back of these here tags and stuff right here. That's worth keeping.
Okay. I'll come back here later and grab them all.
Yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think you cut that right in there. Okay. So there you are.
Perfect. Why do we prune this right here at an angle?
You're wanting any kind of moisture to drain off of it, rather than if it sits right on top of it right here, it could start rotting down the center of the core of that stem.
Okay.
And go down into the root. So you're doing that. Of course, you're going to put some seal on there, so that'll help it also.
Yeah.
But it's still always good to put that on a little bit of an angle.
Okay.
Now you see these here, primary tips here. These are down here. See how much this is longer? So let's take this one here and let's pick a good outside bud. So we got a good outside bud going here. So let's trim that off up here. And that's going to help make all those grow at about the same rate of speed and keep the tree balanced.
Okay.
Okay, so our next step now, we want to make sure that we water in the tree to get all that air out from around those roots and stuff down in here.
Okay.
So we'll start and we'll take and build our little berm around here. So that's our little watering berm. And then we'll come back and water them in.
Okay.
Just kind of poke around and just see what'll come up. And you want to fill this with water and then come back and fill this with water again.
Okay.
I mean, because all these are going to grow.
So all
Take
these
this one here. Let's cut this one off right here.
Right here?
Yeah, right across there. Okay. Because you got this limb, you got that, you got those down there. And this is going to come out. You got a whole lot of limbs on this one here. That's going to do good. See this one here? This one has a little bud right over on the side of it.
Okay.
So just take it up right in there. If it see that void right there? You want to throw more dirt down in that stuff right there to fill that in.
Okay.
So that's what you're trying to do, is get all those air bubbles out of there.
If you'd like to hear Papa Bill and his advice, please subscribe to Auger's Little Farm. Signing out, Papa Ted.
All right, so we made it to the end of all of our planting. For today, we want to water in everything twice really good and continue getting out all of that air. And then now going forward, because we're in mid-January, we can pretty much just let the rain do the work. But if we didn't have any rain in the forecast, you would maybe want to water, what do you say, once a month, every few weeks? Every few weeks when they're young like this. And then as the heat comes in summer, you probably want to water once a week really well, just make sure the soil stays moist. And then to recap the whole planting process, when you put the tree in the hole, you want to make sure the roots are spread out. If you see any broken roots, you can trim those off because you don't want a partially broken root in the ground. So everything's spread out flat. You want your bud on the south side, and you want where the graft comes up, right? Is it called the graft? Where the graft comes up, you want that a few inches above the surface level of the soil. And then as for pruning, you just want to make sure that you have good branches below and that you see buds coming out on that stem so that you have growth below. And knocking it down is going to prevent that tree from getting too tall. What else do we got? I think, is that all? We got it all covered?
Next year.
And then, yeah, no more pruning takes place till next winter. Make sure you keep track of all your varieties and when you planted, the nursery that you bought them from. And, oh, we're going to come in, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to come in and put tar on top of those cuts that we made so that it'll heal over and no moisture gets in there. And I think that is pretty much it. Let me know in the comments below if you have questions, and be sure to subscribe to Audrey's Little Farm because maybe we'll have some more future videos with Papa Bill to teach more about fruit planting. So I'll see you in the next video.